Yeah, so we're back. Part two. So yeah, they hatch this plan and they kill the father, and basically Ursula and the chemist and the baby boy and Doris's baby and Alma all leave, exit, are able to live their best life in Hollywood. But before I get too much into that, I also do want to make mention that Mickey, played by Macaulay Culkin, and Sarah Paulson have this great chemistry as a pairing for this season. You know, being both meth heads, and then but yet you can see that Mickey has that drive, still has very much that drive to be a screenwriter. So although he's hustling, and he is kind of in a way working for Bella Noir and Austin Summers, right, played by Evan Peters and uh, Francis Conroy, which I thought they were phenomenal too. They were also aspiring writers and getting nowhere, writing musicals and books, and nobody would buy once they take that pill. It's like they become like the gangsters of the area, which, not for nothing, this town in particular knows something's happening. They know the tourists come in because of the allure that a lot of other established artists, for some reason, are able to hatch creative ideas and become superstars overnight just by staying there. But they know something's wrong when bodies start piling up, and then they just kind of turn the other way and pretend like it's not happening, even though they'll have law enforcement, but to no avail. Um, I want to say that that's something that never really gets answered. So we even have our deputy cop who dies, and it really doesn't get too investigated. So there's that. That's kind of like left a loophole that never gets really explained. And yeah, so this little so yeah, as a coupling, Macaulay Culkin and Sarah Paulson's characters, you can see that they genuinely care for each other. They can see that they're both struggling artists. But Sarah's tuberculosis Karen, which I thought was something, she realizes that she needs, if she really wants to explore that creativity and become a famous painter, which is her drive, she realizes that she does not want to be one of these people. She does not want to take that pill to become an overnight sensation. She just wants to paint because it makes her genuinely happy. But unfortunately, she has also this meth addiction, and she doesn't ever leave this area. So she's never ever able to foster that. And basically does the bidding for Bella Noir and Austin. Um, from what we discover is that baby's blood, which is sounds so horrible, but it's very reminiscent of like Bram Stoker's Dracula. That baby's blood is the sweetest blood because it's innocent, it's a new life, and so it hasn't been tainted by anything. So Sarah's character snatches babies for Bella so she can feed. But then she has moments where she knows that she's doing wrong and her conscience won't let her, but the meth is a lot more powerful. It overtakes her. That's her disease, that's her crutch. So Mickey has had it. He doesn't want to live that life anymore. It's like, you know what? F it. I'm going to take the pill. If I'm successful, I'm successful. And if not, well, it is what it is. And he does become successful. He's able to pitch and sell his script to Ursula. And yeah, slowly but surely starts growing in numbers and starts becoming famous based on his work. I think he's able to sell the script, and it gets into production, and he wants to see the same for her. But Karen tuberculosis does not want to have that kind of attain fame that way. So he kind of puts her up against a wall in a rock and a hard place, where she's almost near attacked by the other ones that are resentful, the other vampires that are resentful. They look ghastly and, look like they would do much damage. So she's scared. And he's like, take the pill. If you take the pill, they won't attack you. So she takes the pill, um, promises that she's going to leave with Mickey, that they're going to live their best life as a power couple. She goes to the beach and is inspired to paint the best painting that she can. And then promises that she's going to leave with him. And then she realizes she's getting weak, and he says, well, you need to feed. And what he wasn't expecting is that she would feed on him. So that's unfortunately how Mickey sees his demise. And she offs herself. She goes into, I believe she cuts her wrists, and then she just, drowns herself. The scene is epic, honestly, and I think Sarah really went somewhere when it came to that character. And all her characters, from every season are just memorable. So I give much props to Sarah Paulson because she's a very talented woman. But yeah, we get like a kind of like ending to that, and then we switch over to Death Valley, which I get it. It's a very tongue-in-cheek experience. We're seeing is you know I almost I love like these certain seasons I believe delve into being political but not so overtly political. I think they still kind of play with the artistic perspective of it. Um, just for the simple fact that we are living in this horrible time in recent history with the pandemic and COVID and anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists. We're seeing the resurgence of people, who normally would have been, cast to the side as, a little off centered, off kilter, and becoming mouthpieces for organizations that don't need to be mentioned. But so they fed into that half. For this half, it fed into that, and I believe that Ryan Murphy and his showrunners have done it in the past when they're too literal, like Cult was straight in your face. What's happening with the politics, and how people are easily vulnerable to cults, and why they prey to people who basically are just known sociopaths. But somehow there's a vulnerability there where people just, I don't know, they just prefer not to know or learn of the facts, and would prefer to just follow for whatever reason. It's in common and tune to whatever, um, I don't know, biases that they may have. So there's that. And then, so this later half feeds into that. Basically, what we have been seeing in politics as of recent. So they push all these conspiracy theories of the White House and Eisenhower and his wife and Area 51, and there is maybe the possibility where we could have linked it to the second season Asylum, where there were instances of alien invasion. But it never really does refer to that season, so we are kind of left like, hmm. And then we see how Eisenhower is basically pushed into this, reluctantly. He did not want to do this treaty with aliens, but it's kind of like, well, either you do it or the other side of the globe will do it, and we have no qualms with whatever side, but we will invade. And in a way, it feeds into also when in the 1980s we had all that interest in those types of that type of content, right? That's why we had the show. I believe it was called Alien Invasion. And we had the X-Files. So the truth is out there, right? So it feeds very much into that, and it's very tongue-in-cheek. We see also another, if like, again, I'm one of those 1980s kids that remembers all these great films, and so like we have Macaulay Culkin in the first 5 episodes. We have Craig Schaefer. Forgive me again, I'm not great with names. but I think it's Sheffer. He plays Nixon, and if he looks familiar, if you remember the movie Some Kind of Wonderful, he played the bully, the guy that was dating. Well, I think her name is Amanda Jones in the movie, played by Leah Thompson. And Leah Thompson, if you remember her from Back to the Future, who played the mom, and basically Eric Stoltz, who plays Keith Nelson, love interest, his muse. So he played that, like, the one with the hot rod, the one with the Corvette, and had all the money in the world, and he's an ass. And then towards the end, he gets like majorly slapped twice. So he's like famous for that film. So when I saw him play Nixon, I said, "Oh, I know who he is." Anyway, I think he did a great job. Was everybody like a complete double ganger for the person that they were acting as? No, but I think they did a great job. The black and white instances, and then there are moments where we shift into the most recent 2020, 2021, this generation living off their phones and whatnot, and their connection between, basically we have technology based on this alien treaty that we saw early in the 60s. So yeah, there's a bit of that, and I think honestly, it just depends if you're a historian and you really appreciate history, but being fictionalized this way, and certain things were really tongue in cheek, and you just have to take it for what it is. Which is funny. It's funny, and then that possibility of, oh, but it's fictional. Come on. But yeah, I found that part of this season more interesting than I did necessarily the plot lines when it came to the younger crowding, the young crowd with the pregnancies, and we just basically see four really rich, privileged brats that get invaded, and basically are impregnated, and they're looking for the hybrid between human and alien. It goes through a lot of jarring moments. We also see yet again Leslie Grossman, but she's playing a different character, and also Sarah Paulson, who's playing Eisenhower's wife. And I believe this is Sarah Paulson's directorial debut, and I think she did a great job. Unfortunately, this last episode 10, was a big major miss because it didn't connect anything, and we're left like, okay. So they find the perfect hybrid, and they found the perfect vessel, which is, one of our characters, young characters, that had the correct genome to like procreate. And they just like, essentially she was gonna like run free and tell the world what's happening, but they cut her head off, and they just keep her body like, and then her head is like very much this robotic cylinder, and she's just pumping out all these babies. Angelica Ross comes back, but she's not the chemist here. She's just a half breed of alien and human, and it just went all over the place. But again, I'm not going to crucify them, just for the simple fact that I'm sure that it was really hard for them to film during this very, nervous time in recent history. So again, it was entertaining. It was spooky. There were really great episodes, especially the episode, I think it's episode 8 or 9, where we see Sarah Paulson's character basically being having extramarital, sex with somebody who's not her husband because he had cheated on her in the past, which was very cheeky, and I liked that episode. But yeah, it was just like a little all over the place. And honestly, it wasn't like the best season. And I always thought Cult was pretty bad. And I did enjoy it for what it was, but it's not on my top list of all the American Horror Stories. But this is a close second. I think this replaced Cult. Like, this would be like the last. If I had to put it in order, yeah, now Cult is like second to last to this. So would I watch it again? Nah, probably not. But I think it was still entertaining and spooky for the holiday season, for Halloween. So I still say give it a watch. But are you gonna walk away as satisfied as previous seasons? I still think Roanoke is pretty good, and Murder House is my fave, and Coven is the best. So with that being said, I'm gonna be reviewing a number of other shows and a vampire movie I just recently watched and I enjoyed, Night Teeth, which is on Netflix. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, let's play this out, y'all. Stay tuned for more kitties. XOXO. Nerdy girl. P.S. Do you like it? Do you like the background? Let me know in the comment section below. Give us a subscription, a like, hit that notification button for more. And yeah, stay tuned, y'all. Who's ready for Halloween? I am. Alright, till next time, XOXO. Nerdy girl.